I am so excited to get this going. Thanks for walking through the timer. We have been wanting to do this. We wanted to do this on Tuesday. We had a little technical difficulties and couldn't send emails for a couple days because of how we do our systems. We got it all fixed. We're all up and running. We're sending texts. Some of you got some texts. Some of you got emails reminding you, whether you're watching this live or recording. We are talking about Edge. We're talking about cash discount. We're talking about surcharging. But there's no one better to help us walk through this journey that we have been on for the last several years at being the forefront of this in payments than Danny Schard. And so we've asked Danny, before we take your questions at the end, because we'll be doing that. I'm watching the comments right now. We'll take questions and answer anything you have. But as we get ready to launch 2 new products in the PayProTech world, we wanted Danny to kind of set things up of where we are now, where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. Danny, will you walk us through it?
Absolutely. I'm excited. I don't know if all you are, and I think more just the build up to this moment, and talking with a lot of you over the last 3-6 months even. This has been a long time coming, right? So, the evolution of Edge is really here. Our Edge program has really always been positioned as a dual pricing program as it kind of evolved from, us calling it cash discounts. I think us in the industry, we're always going to use those words and kind of sometimes refer to it as that just because that's how the whole thing started. But as we're talking to merchants and consumers and kind of positioning our program, dual pricing and Edge is really how we've kind of wanted to position our program. What's been holding us back, has been the technology and what we've had the ability to put in front of you and to have you put in front of merchants. And that's the solutions that can actually do dual pricing as best as we want it to, right? That's very transparent and creates that type of customer experience that should be happening, where it's not even a baked in total into the amount. It's literally a separation of card price and cash price. And it's clean, it's transparent, and it creates an overall better experience for the customer. That's really what we're going for. That's what Edge has been positioned as. And now we really get to move it forward with some of these new solutions. So a lot of our point of sale systems have been there and continue to go there. Paradise, you probably saw a pretty big announcement from them a few weeks ago, where now everything is that true dual pricing. I know Hot Sauce, I know Quick, I know a lot of these now have these dual pricing programs built into them. Makes it much easier to sell, in my opinion, and it creates an overall better experience for the customer, which in turn makes it a better experience for the merchant and easier for them to get into it as they try to adopt this program if they're not doing it already. But on the forefront of this announcement, these new solutions that we've been waiting for a long time, and those of you who I've talked to for the last year and a half, how long we've been waiting for this and really how we've been chomping at the bit to get these solutions stood up on EPX and available to you. So we've got the Valor line of products, the new Deja Vu P series or Q series line of products. These are now able to be stood up on EPX. We're finishing our testing, here within the next week or so. We're actually going to be able to start deployment. So couldn't be happier to have these solutions that actually have built-in dual pricing. And it's going to create a much better experience and really help you compete in the market right now, because these solutions have been out there, but they haven't been able to go on EPX and they haven't been able to be sold by you through PayProTech. So having these available and at your fingertips, available as free placements for merchants that are on this program, it's going to hopefully open a lot of doors for you, help you establish a better conversation, I feel like, and really provide a much better experience for the merchants and the customers. And be aware, Pay Anywhere is coming out soon too. So we're really going to have this dual pricing movement be available on all of our solutions. This is just the start, and we couldn't be more excited about Valor and Deja Vu new lines coming out for you guys.
Everybody is excited about Danny. I mean, I've noticed no chance for anyone else. Look at Eddie, that actor there, Danny. I don't know how you say it. Do I have to go Danny? And then the ad to the broadcast, Vicky Helm chanting Danny, Danny, Danny. But we bring up all the 3 stars of what we usually do here, the high five, as we talk about this. Mr. Brian Linke, who can't look cooler, down there in the middle.
Too cool.
How are you, Brian Linke?
I don't think it counts when Danny's mommy chimes in. I don't think she can be one of the fans. Okay, well, I think she's got there's an asterisk next to her name. Anyway, yes, Nate, I'm doing well. Excited about the new product lines that we're coming out with. It's about time, I think, that we're up with with our competitors.
Getting it all done. Yeah.
And it's well, new is good, right? I mean, isn't new good?
New is good. All right, so Brian's going to be here to help us answer some questions here. But the first question, I'm going to throw it back over to Danny as he kind of introduced this, is what does this mean? We're bringing Valor and Deja Vu onto us. What does this mean for our partners? What is the difference of this for them? And we'll go through a process, what that's going to look like, how to board these, and answer all your questions, Eric. And I see we have one really good question. So get those questions in the comment section. But Danny, let's start with this. What does this mean for our partners who are boots on the ground and taking care of their merchants, having these terminals and being able to do dual pricing, surcharging, cash discounting, however they want to do it? What is this? How is this different for them?
Well, I know a lot of you are saying finally, right? Like I said, we've been talking about it for probably over a year now. And it's just taken that long for the integrations to be completed for a variety of reasons. So it's just really exciting that we're seeing this come to light. But what this means is, we've always had our smart solutions with Pay Anywhere and those different devices. And now with this line of products, it's a new line of smart solutions. So if you've had some challenges with Pay Anywhere, or if you've got merchants where Pay Anywhere might be too much or just not a good fit, or you just want to try something different, this gives you an alternative smart solution that can accommodate all of everything that they're needing to. Not as robust as Pay Anywhere, surprise, but still has a ton of features. I really think this just expands the way that you can sell the program, right? So as everything's kind of evolved over the last, I'll say 6 months, but we know it's been a much more longer than that. And you're seeing the conversation about dual pricing really kind of fitting into this, right? We've always coined it cash discounting, but we've always known that it's been quote unquote a gray area of this, right? So now with a lot of this being more defined, it allows you to pick and choose the program that you want to sell, right? Of course, we're going to be advocates for Edge, for a dual pricing program. It's going to be more lucrative for you. It's going to be better for your merchants to be able to offset up to 100% of their processing fees. It's a lot cleaner, right? So that's the program that we're always going to push and advocate for. But you're going to see cash discounting as a popular option. And more importantly, surcharging has now never been more popular, right? With Visa coming out and making the 3% cap and more defining how easier it is now to surcharge, right? You don't have to register or do any of those things. We're seeing competitors start to go out there and position their programs as a surcharge program. And that's something that you'll have to compete with. And sometimes you may need to join them in certain scenarios where you've got to offer a surcharge program to get a deal. And you can do that with this new line of products, right? And so the way that we want to kind of help you position your offerings out there is we want you to be able to cater to the masses with any type of program. Obviously, you'll be an advocate, and your first look on a lot of these will be a dual pricing Edge solution. But if a merchant's more comfortable with a surcharging option, we can do that on these solutions as well. So know that regardless of what type of program that you need to sell, you'll be able to do it with these solutions and all through the systems that we offer. I think that's the most exciting of it, or part of this, because there's been a lot going on this last 6 months, and I feel like PayProtect, we've always been on the forefront of this whole, I'll call it the cash discount movement, right? And obviously it's evolved since then, and we don't use those words a lot in marketing or as we're talking to merchants, but we've, it's been coined that in the industry, right? So we've always kind of been one of the leaders in it. We started it in early 2017. I think we were one of the first ones to start offering it. And we always kind of push this program along to be as compliant as possible and be as aggressive as possible, so you could sell it as best you can to as many merchants as you could and build up a strong portfolio. And with these solutions, we couldn't be more excited. We know we're a little bit behind because they were already integrated with TSYS and First Data, so getting them stood up on EPX is something we couldn't be more excited about. And then the soon to be unveiling of dual pricing and Pay Anywhere. Don't have a solid date yet, but I know it's coming and it's in the very near future. Couldn't be more excited about that as well. So regardless of what equipment that you're more comfortable with and more confident in, you're going to be able to do it with all of these and position the program that you want to do it. And I'm more excited about that.
All right, I'm going to come right back to you, Danny, on this one. I'm going to bring up a question already from Eric here. How can I earn $600 upfront with dual pricing? From what I understand, most upfronts are $300 with a true up 3 to 4 months down the road. So let's start with what we're announcing today with the Valor and Deja Vu. We'll talk about what it actually looks like, but I'll let you make that announcement. I do have a slide for you, but I'll pull it over while you talk about it. How can you, what Eric asked there?
Yeah, Eric, it's a good question. So the bonuses are all based on equipment. So the $600 has always been our pay anywhere line of products, right? You get 600, you get the 14 times up to 10,000 per deal. And that's regardless if you're doing edge, traditional pricing, anything like that. The equipment is what drives the bonus selection. Brian and I and Billy and Nate and Paul and a lot of our team really were excited about launching these new line of products because, as we're starting to deploy them in the next week or so, we're going to position you as the partner to still earn 600 on these types of solutions. So Valor terminals and Deja Vu terminals, for those merchants that qualify, they're doing dual pricing, priced above 3.5%. We can get them these placement programs, or you purchase the terminal, whichever you'd like to do. If they're on a bonus ID, we're going to get you a $600 bonus up front. So call it the pay anywhere equivalent, if you will. But for now, we want you to earn as much as possible and give you more money for selling these dual pricing solutions.
Brian, I'm coming to you with this question. What does it mean to have all these options? Like, we've been working very hard to bring as many things to our platform. Unfortunately, Brian is not available to do our coding, so we have to wait on other people to do some of the coding to get us on EPX. But now, what does this do for our partners to have all the Valor terminals and the Q series of the Deja Vus and more to come? We're working on more, and Pay Anywhere coming with dual pricing enabled, hopefully very soon, all in line right here. What do you think that does for our partners, Brian?
Well, first of all, Nate, I am available for coding. Just to let you know. I mean, if need be, just let me know. Just give me a couple of days to brush up on it, and I'll be right there with you. But I think what it means more than anything, it just gives us more things to sell, more options, more things to, I mean, rather than just, I mean, now we're doing this ridiculous bonus thing on the Valor and the Paytech terminals, but as before, it was only pay anywhere. But it just allows our agents, our partners to sell just about anything, like what Eric was asking. And I didn't even know we were doing the additional $300, but it just allows us to be, the end all.
And as if you remember back several years ago, I think, Danny, you'll remember this. You were probably doing some of our tables at the time. I came up with this thing, and with a designer, we had this whole idea of this motif of, instead of no man left behind, it was no deal left behind.
Deal left behind.
Yeah. And that's what I always think in the back of my head. We just keep bringing as much as you can, so you don't have to walk away from the deal. And what we hope is you never walk away from PayProTech either. And so no deal, no PayProTech left behind. Let's just keep bringing it to it. And Danny, let's think a little bit about what this process is going to look like. So everybody's really excited. We want to walk you through all the new, we're not walking you through all the new Valor. So I'll not correct Brian, but I'll help him out on this. It's the Valor Paytech and the Deja Vu terminals, the Q series for the Deja Vu and all the Valor Paytech terminals. We're going to walk that.
I had a little brain fart there. I couldn't think.
No, you gave Valor and Paytech two companies, and which makes sense. There's two names.
I couldn't think.
So, but Valor, Paytech, and Deja Vu terminals, they're going to be live. We're working literally live right now. I'll pull this up. Danny, I'm going to have you walk us through it. But in order to be part of the first group, to be able to offer these as placement, and they're going to be available as placement, what do they need to do? And I'll tip to you that they need to go to a certain website, and not May, I misspelled with two Y's. I'm going to correct that while I come to you. Talk about what they need to do on May 22nd.
Yeah, I mean, so you'll go to ppt.equipment. You're going to see some more announcements. You're going to see a lot of information over the next week. This call right now is to tell you we're finally ready, right? So we're here. Final testing's happening. You're going to see a lot of updates going into My PayProTech. You're going to see a lot of announcements. We want you to start having these conversations and get ready to start positioning these merchants for these types of solutions, right? So deployment, we're going to start deploying these things a week from Monday, right? So, I mean, we're right there. You can start getting these in your pipeline and really start to get ahead of it. But we want you to be on that webinar just to learn, here's where the placement forms are. We're going to have electronic forms available to you as well. So before, whenever we rolled out our previous program with Deja Vu terminals exclusively, You had a separate terminal placement form, you had a separate setup form that you'd have to send in, right? We're trying to simplify that for you as well. It's going to be electronic. It's going to be in My PayProTech. It's going to make it easier for you and your merchants to get these solutions once you've got an approved account set up. So you're going to see a lot of improvement to some of this back-end process, but there is still some manual parts of it to get these solutions, whether it's a purchase or a placement. But jump onto that on Monday at noon Eastern, and you're going to get ready to start selling these, and we're going to be ready to deploy them.
Yeah. So, and I will jump over here and let's see if I can do this. Well, I'll just show it live. So when you go to ppt.equipment, and that is actually a URL, ppt.equipment, you will see this page. It's a Zoom. I'm going to get a logo put in there, but you put your first name, last name, and registration, and you will be in that live noon on May 22nd. That's a Monday. That's 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 Mountain, or 10 Central, 11 Mountain. Whatever. You understand. Starts at noon Eastern time, and you go back from there. We would love for you to be there, but if you're not there live, you will be about probably a week or 2 weeks later until we roll it out to everybody. So that's a really important training to be at. So make sure you're there. Make sure you ask the questions right now. I'm going to bring up Jeff's question. If you put a restaurant on dual pricing, does the menu have to have both the card and cash price on it? These are always the questions you start getting when you get in the dual pricing world. So can you, Danny, do you want to take this one, or Brian?
And do they have to change the menus?
Yep. Well, Danny or Brian?
It's encouraged.
Yeah.
It's definitely encouraged to create that type of experience for the customer. What you're doing today is, before dual pricing solutions have been announced, isn't necessarily going to change if you choose not to update the pricing on those solutions. But if you're offering a dual pricing solution and a dual pricing program, technically, yes, you'd want to see a dual pricing menu and dual pricing on the shelves.
Perfect. And Chris specifically asked, can we get a receipt example of the dual pricing? Well, we will absolutely do that. You could ask for it, and I will encourage you. I recorded a POS Uncensored with Matt Proctor. It's about 13 minutes, walking through how all of our POS systems already do it. We walk through how Hot Sauce does it. We walk through how Paradise, how Mint, and how Retail Cloud all are doing and capable and ready to do dual pricing. Matt walks us through that, which ones have screens, all kinds. So I'll leave that for the POS side. For the training, as we do everything here with the Valor Paytech new terminals and all the Q series of the Deja Vus, we'll be showing that in that training on the 22nd. So make sure you're ready for that. Brian, I'm going to come back to you on this one. One of the things that we always try to make sure is that our partners are given all the tools and the training to be able to describe dual pricing. And I really believe that the dual pricing message of, hey, you have one cash price, one card price, and let's get to, it may take 5 years from now, but everything has a cash price and a card price on every, whether it's menu, on a sticker, anything like that, is more transparent. How do you think you would sell that as you're going out and you've sold lots and lots of merchants, you've held partner sales, thousands of merchants. Why is that transparency and simplicity of message important in the sales process?
I just think it's, again, it's like gas stations have been doing it since the beginning of time. They've been, now what is it, like a cash price, it flashes, and then a credit price flashes. So they kind of cheat when it comes to that. But I don't think anything really has changed other than the fact that now we're coming out with it, and now that our new equipment that we've got is actually doing it. Right. I mean, that's really all that's changed. The selling part of it really is the same. I mean, we're giving we encourage cash payments, right? I mean, wasn't that the saying? So, I just think by giving a merchant the option, you don't want to give them too many options, but just the option to do either one is really, but we've been doing that all along. So I don't, again, other than the new equipment being able to do it, I mean, really nothing's changed.
Yep, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we're just continuing to simplify and clarify our message, and that's all we're trying to do, and make this easier for our partners to walk it through. One of the questions people are asking, a lot of this gets down to pricing, and Danny, I'll come back to you on this. A lot of this is, what's best for the merchant and realizing that they have to know there may be some changes to come. This is evolved. This is an evolution. How we did everything when we started out. And if you can believe, when PayProTech started this out in 2017, over 6 years ago, and we were doing this, we were putting these all on global because we couldn't even do it on our own platform at EPX. But now with things changed, the equipment changed, the hardware, all the partners are in, everybody is, proven to be happy with how everything is working. But when it comes to like how we do pricing and how we show pricing, there may be some changes of what is required. A lot of, Chris is asking online about, on menu boards versus menus and all that. What would be your line when it comes to how people display pricing?
Yeah, I think, the business is going to know what's right for them, right? So as, we've been going up to this point and our program has been fully compliant with the signs we've been providing and things baked into the total, right? And some merchants are taking upon themselves to update their pricing, show the credit price, and it provides a discount at the point of purchase, do dual pricing. We're going to encourage merchants to have dual pricing on menus and on shelves, right? We know not every merchant's going to do it. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be subject to fines or anything like that. And I think that's some of the misconceptions that I'm hearing around the industry, is that you don't do this, you're getting fined $5,000 or $20,000. And there's a lot of scary tactics that are going out right now. The reality is, especially with a lot of your existing merchants, now's the time to educate, right? Make sure that they understand the differences between surcharging, cash discount, dual pricing types of programs, and know that the program that you've set them up with and that they're positioned with right now is okay, right? And they're good. And you want to position that way with them and educate them, because a competitor is going to come in and try to scare them, right? They're going to say, oh, you're doing over 3%, or, you don't have this listed or anything like that. And as long as they've had that conversation with you and they know that the program that they're offering is compliant and they're protected, then they can combat that and your deals are going to be protected. There is going to be a lot of proactive folks that are wanting to go back and switch a lot of merchants to dual pricing solutions. That's going to be a little bit more challenging, as you can imagine, with the amount of merchants that we have out there. Just know that we'll look at each one of those as a one-off. But right now, as long as you're educating your merchants, that's going to be the most important thing. And then as we continue to evolve this program and move forward, we can look back on merchants if we need to.
Let me tell you something. This seems like it's not a black and white situation. It's definitely not a black and white situation. Right. It's right. Definitely a gray area, but in my 100 years in sales, gray is easier to sell, I think.
All right.
Gray is easier to sell.
And now we know, Danny Schard, the true age of Brian Linke. Let's be honest. He just said 100 years of sales. He started when he was 6. He's 106. Now we've got it all figured out. You're leaving it to the merchant's imagination, some of it. Right, you're leaving them thinking about some of it, but here's the thing: we're going to look back at this a year from now and laugh about it. So
yeah.
But at the end of the day,
it's our job to educate and make sure merchants understand these programs and understand how they've evolved. Right, I think it's okay. I mean, in payment processing, it's been kind of funny that merchants, we've tried to keep them in the dark on a lot of things, and some of it's to avoid the overcomplicating situations, right? Which is understandable. And some of it's because on a need to know basis, right? But really informing merchants, now people are more informed than ever before, right? So if we can inform and educate merchants, it's going to protect you a lot more, especially as some of these competitors come out and start saying the things that they're going to say. If these programs start getting policed by the card brands in any way, merchants are going to get an opportunity to correct it, whether they're surcharging, cash discounting, saying they're dual pricing, but not showing it that way to their customers. There's going to be so many opportunities that merchants are going to have to fix, correct, to adjust what they're doing before anything ever comes back to them on as far as any type of fine or anything that comes from the card brand. So just now's the time to educate, help them understand, and not make it too big like Brian's talking about, right? There is a gray area, but in a year from now, we're going to laugh about this, but it's our opportunity right now to get in front of it, help these merchants understand where this is going, and make sure that they're prepped if a competitor comes in the door.
Yeah. You can't sell scared, period.
That's right.
Just go sell.
And I like some of the comments that we're seeing in the comment section. Donna's sharing how she personally did it with one of her most restaurants. At the end of the day, we're just saying we believe that you are great salesmen and women. You're going to be able to walk into restaurants, into retails, and any other physical brick and mortar locations of businesses and be able to sell these products. And we're excited to finally have 2 more, and really it's like 7 new pieces of equipment between the Valor Paytech and the Deja Vu Q Series terminals. We have so many more options, and we think they're just much easier to look and a lot easier for your partners to be, your merchants to be able to understand how it works, and for the customers to go, oh, here's a cash price, here's a card price, seeing it on the receipt. It just becomes more and more transparent, and we're focused also then making sure that we keep our margins so our partners continue to be compensated in a fair and growing way. Let's be honest, we want to continue growing.
Right.
Yep. So, so we're working very hard to do that. We'll look for any other questions. I do see the question about Federal Reserve. You, Smith, if you want to bring that question to me, you are welcome to go. I would be glad to have a conversation about central bank currency, digital currency, but I don't think this is the place to do it. And it doesn't affect us for a while. We have a ways to go between Fed now and central bank digital currency has effect on PayProtech, our merchants, and the hundreds of thousands of people we serve across the country. Danny, as we close out, why should people be on the training June 22nd? PPT.equipment. Sign up for the Zoom. Be in the training live with Billy and Paul. Why should they do that? But go ahead.
May 22nd.
Sorry, May 22nd. What did I say? June. Sorry, May 22nd. Sorry. Get too excited. You got me.
A week from Monday. So you're going to see a lot of stuff coming out over the next week. You'll see a lot of things added to my PayProtech, and I've got to tell you, we've worked with Deja Vu for a long time. Love some of the things that they've come out with. Their new Q series is awesome. We're hoping to have that P line integrated on EPX here soon as well. But just to have some of their upgraded software and some of the things that they've been doing is phenomenal. But, aside from Deja Vu, to have Valor Paytech now in our mix, I couldn't be more excited. Eric and the team at Valor Paytech have been phenomenal to work with. They've got a great line of products. And in fact, one of their lead trainers is going to be in our Indiana office next week. Even Brian Linky's going to go up there and train. So they've been just so accommodating. They're such a great company to work with. And, regardless of which solution that you gravitate towards, whether it's, if you're not sure, try them both. Valor, Deja Vu, we're just really excited to have both of these, Valor being the newest addition. And they've just been so phenomenal to work with. So just really excited to have them in the mix finally and be able to start setting some equipment up for them. So look at both of them if you're not sure, but be on that training May 22nd. But you're going to see a lot between now and then as you kind of get prepared and we get everything rolled out for you.
Yeah. May 22nd, ppt.equipment. All you have to do is put that in, put in your name, email, and we will make sure you're part of that Zoom. And then you know that you are eligible for the additional $300. And that is extremely important. I don't know why I switched to the old slide. Make sure I corrected the slide and then switched to the old one. How brilliant is that? All right. I see. Thank you, Jeff Roten, saying it's another great show. If you ever have any questions, any concerns, anything that you want to talk about, you can email partners@payprotech.com, your relationship manager. Of course, you can reach out to Danny, Brian, or myself. But we are excited to see these Valor terminals, these Deja Vu terminals out in the wild. Pay Anywhere is coming with dual pricing very, very soon. You'll hear it from the mountaintops. Read our emails. Watch for our text messages. Thank you so much. Brian, Danny, I'm going to let Brian, if you're all right with that, close us out with you've got, what should you give him? 20 seconds or less challenge to our partners?
I don't need 20 seconds.
All right, go for it, Brian.
New is good, right? New is good. We're really excited about the Valor Paytech, the new Deja Vus. I mean, it's been a long time since we really had a new toy to play with, right? So, the dual pricing thing, new is good. Get out there and sell something. Make the extra $300. May 22nd, 9:00. And we'll see you then.
See you then. Everybody, thank you. High five, everybody. And we'll see you next time on a high five. Let's go sell some Valor Paytech and sell some more merchants. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.